I was watching and listening to a masterclass by Amy Poehler where she shared 10 principles of improv. And I want to share with you the first one because it's relevant to what I'm going to discuss with you today. The first principle is to keep saying yes. Many of us are hesitant to say yes because there are many implications to saying yes. That means you're going to have more work, you're going to have less time to yourself, you're going to have more commitments, more responsibilities. And the word yes could have a very positive meaning and the negative meaning that I just gave you. The positive meaning of yes is that you keep saying yes to possibilities. You keep saying yes to your potential, to your future. You keep hope alive that what you want to achieve and who you want to become in this lifetime is possible and that you can have fun doing it and enjoy yourself in the journey and enjoy others along with you on this journey. Today, I want to share the top 3 challenges that our members who participated in our challenges, in our master classes, in our trainings and programs have shared with us that are the top 3 challenges they have in order of priority. The number 1 challenge is lack of time. Lack of time to focus and prioritize themselves. If you're like most women I know, especially high-performing women, we're spinning plates. Our plates are overflowing. We are burning the candle on both ends, and it never seems to stop. It doesn't matter how many hours we stay awake doing it, working on it. The next day, magically, more work appears, more things to do. Our to-do list is never ending. So if you can relate to that, let me know that in the comments. Can you relate to having a full plate, to being stretched thin, feeling like you couldn't do one more thing even if you wanted to? And so what happens to us when we struggle with this is that we prioritize everything else above and beyond ourselves. And that seems the right thing to do. That feels good to help others feel good and do right by them. And ultimately, what we also experience is that we finish the year, the quarter, the week saying, what happened? What did I do this week? And for many of us who haven't yet quite fine-tuned it and dialed it in, we realized that the things we wanted to accomplish didn't get done because we were getting somebody else's list done. And so I'm not advocating that you become dismissive and aloof and only do what you want to do. What I'm suggesting and nudging you lovingly to do is to be more intentional about carving out the time to do the things that matter to you. And the number one place where I'm going to go is to your health and your mental well-being and your professional development. These are areas that if we don't focus on them, first of all, we won't be around to be there for anyone else. And we will feel like crap, quite frankly, as we go through our days, through our weeks, our months, and quarters. And so if we don't become more intentional about carving out the time to devote to ourselves, to those areas that are so important to us, we are going to miss the boat. We are going to wake up one day regretting what happened to me. Look at me. I feel terrible. I'm not bringing my best. I'm not showing up in the best mental state because how can you? You can't if you don't give yourself that permission to create that secret space where you can plan what you want to do and take care of yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. And to also grow in your career so that one day you don't wake up and go, 20 years just went by. I have no idea how it all happened. My whole career just happened by accident. And you end up in a place where it's not where you want to be, not doing what you want to do, and ultimately feeling regretful, for not paying attention and waking up to yourself and to your life and career. So that's the first struggle, lack of time to focus. And so that's what I realized when I started coaching our members, that many of them were complaining, like me, about not having enough time. And so I realized that I had to create the time, the structure for them to show up, to say, this is my time and no one else's. And what do I need to do to get myself from where I am to where I want to be intentionally, with love, compassion, and grace for yourself, without beating yourself up because you are taking time from someone else, and rather knowing that you are worthy of the time to spend on yourself. So that's what we've done over the past 7 years, helping you create that sacred structure that can help you work on your career instead of always being in your career. So the second challenge that most women that work with us and leaders who come to us have is self-doubt and lack of confidence. And they have said during our training, Ginny, if I had more confidence, I would go after the promotion. I would raise my hand more. I would feel more confident to stand up for myself and advocate for the increase, or advocate for the structure that will support me to run my family and run my work. When we lack confidence, everything trickles down from that. If you have the confidence to share how you contribute, to share how your team adds value, to share the status of the success that you have within your team and how that supports the organization, and how you are taking clear steps to become a better leader, for example, if you are taking training, etc., then when that with that level of confidence, you give the people around you certainty that you are ready, that you can continue to grow, that you can advance your career, that you can take that more senior leadership role than the one that you have right now, if that is what you want. So if you're finding yourself in a place where you want those things and they're not happening, what is holding you back? Is it lack of time, or is it lack of confidence? And is it self-doubt that's holding you back? Because if that's the case, we can fix that. We can work on that. We can help you shift your mindset and understand your unique value so that you can articulate it with confidence. And more so that you know it and you stop doubting your abilities. The third challenge that I'm going to cover today briefly is imposter syndrome. How many of you are suffering from imposter syndrome? I did. I was in a career in financial services and technology where I was usually the only woman in the room if we were just talking about technology, and where I was usually the only leader in the room and the only Latina woman in the room. And so over the years, I've had to flex the muscle of confidence and understanding my value so that I can open my mouth and not be wallpaper when I was sitting in meetings, and not contribute my ideas and walk away regretful that I should have, could have said something that I didn't say, and that it took me too long to say it. So by the time I got the courage to say it, the moment had passed. So imposter syndrome is another reason why many of our clients come to us. On some level, many of us, no matter how successful we are, and no matter what level in the organization we are, because I worked with senior managers all the way to C-suite executives, on some level on the spectrum, many of us suffer from imposter syndrome. And sometimes it's simply that there's a context within our business where we may not be the most expert in. It could be the business concepts. And we don't feel that we are that knowledgeable in those concepts. However, we have tons of experience and background and know-how, and we have our own zone of genius and our own jam. And when we compare ourselves to people who have been doing that other thing forever, we feel less than, we feel not good enough, and that comparison can bring us down. There's a way for you to walk into a room and own your expertise for what it is. Now, I know you or anyone that I speak with won't be an subject matter expert at everything that we talk about. It's impossible. So when you go in with a high expectation, usually with perfectionism as the backdrop for imposter syndrome, when you go into that room and you want to be the know-it-all, and instead of owning your zone of genius, you want to be everyone's zone of genius, imposter syndrome sets in. That's just one angle of imposter syndrome. So this is you. We can also work on this. And if you notice, I mentioned the shift is around how you are viewing yourself in the rooms that you frequent and how you're comparing yourself to others who have their own jam and their own zone of genius. So these are three major struggles: the lack of time, the lack of structure to prioritize your personal development, your professional development, to focus on your career rather to be in your career, self-doubt and lack of confidence, and finally, imposter syndrome, which are all related. So without setting the structure to develop and shift your mindset and identify the tools and the strategies to support you in growing in your own unique value proposition, without understanding what that unique value is and having the not only the understanding or the cognitive understanding of it, but living it, feeling it in your body, and showing up into meetings with this level of certainty and confidence. And on top of that, having imposter syndrome to top it all off with a cherry on top, you can see how easily someone's career could stall, how you can wake up one day, 20 years from now, wondering what happened to your career. So, my responsibility as a mother, as an employee, as a leader, as someone who has been in your shoes and now is focused primarily, my jam is to help women and leaders like you to overcome these challenges. And I just mentioned three. There are many others that we carry because we happen to be unique. So if you are someone who wants to address this and who's serious about your career and who cares about your life and what happens to your life and career, then I'm simply going to invite you to a conversation. On May 15th, I will be hosting the Fearless Leadership Masterclass, 100% complimentary, risk free. All you have to do is show up. And to do that, you need to register. Go to fearlessleadershipmasterclass.com, check out the information. And if it works with your schedule, carve out this sacred time for yourself and let's do it together. And I'm going to show you the 4 keys that I have taught my members so they can take their careers, so they can squash these struggles, so they can advance and grow and claim their leadership seats. If you're sitting in a leadership seat right now and you feel you have the potential to continue growing because that's what you want, then let's meet. Go to fearlessleadershipmasterclass.com and I look forward to supporting you. As Amy Poehler said in the masterclass, keep saying yes, and you will find that life will give you so many opportunities, but they won't come your way unless you say yes. I know it could be uncomfortable. Give it a shot, and you'll see what happens. I'll see you soon.